MCP issues detected. Run/MCP list for status. Look at the person to your left. Now look at the person to your right. In a standard hour-long meeting with 5 people, you are burning roughly $350 of company capital in real time. If there isn't a clear, documented decision made by the 45-minute mark, you didn't just have a meeting, you committed corporate arson. You are literally lighting your runway on fire. But there is one specific meeting filter used by the world's most efficient CEOs that can kill 80% of your calendar and make the remaining 20% 10 times more profitable. If you don't have this one thing, you should cancel every call on your calendar for the rest of the week. Welcome to BizPilot. We build the systems that turn chaotic startups into streamlined machines. Today, we're tackling the biggest silent killer of small business growth, the meeting trap. Most founders think they're collaborating when they're actually just stalling. They use meetings as a psychological safety net to avoid making hard decisions alone. But we are in the era of AI-driven efficiency, where time is the only currency that matters. Today, I'm showing you the exact framework that turns meetings from a cost center into a high-leverage asset. We're moving beyond the no agenda, no meeting glitch and into the document-first AI synthesis model. Why do we meet? Theoretically, it's to align, decide, or create. But in reality, meetings have become the social media of the office. They provide a false sense of productivity. You spend 60 minutes talking, walk away with a vague to-do list, and feel like you've worked. But you haven't. You've just synchronized your schedules to talk about work you aren't actually doing. This is the meeting paradox. The more your company grows, the more communication nodes you create. If you have 4 people, you have 6 communication lines. If you have 10 people, those lines jump to 45. Without a rigid system, your entire day becomes a series of quick syncs that fragment your focus. And focus is where the money is made. Every time you jump into a quick 15-minute call, it takes your brain an average of 23 minutes to return to a deep work state. This means a 15-minute meeting actually costs you nearly 40 minutes of peak cognitive output. If you have 3 of these a day, you have effectively deleted your ability to do high-level strategy. You've turned yourself into a high-priced administrator instead of a CEO. The worst part? Most meetings are held to update the team. In 2026, if you are meeting to give an update, you are failing. Updates are for dashboards. Updates are for Slack. Updates are for AI-generated reports. Meetings are for friction. They are for when 2 perspectives cannot be reconciled through text. If there is no friction, there is no need for a meeting. Stop. Open your calendar right now. Look at every recurring meeting you have scheduled for next week. If the title of that meeting is Weekly Sync, Team Update, or Catch Up, delete it. Right now. I'm serious. If the team can't function for 7 days without a sync, your systems are broken, not your communication. You aren't managing a team, you're babysitting a process. So, what is this? It's the document-first decision matrix. The rule is simple: a meeting does not exist unless a document exists first. In companies like Amazon or Stripe, they don't use PowerPoint. They use the 6-page memo. For a small business using AI, we use the AI-ready brief. The brief must contain 3 things: the problem, the proposed solution, and the data. But here is where this becomes a superpower. You don't just send the document, you run it through an AI devil's advocate agent. Before the meeting even starts, your AI agent analyzes the document for logical fallacies, missing data, or potential risks. It adds its findings as comments that every attendee must address. Then, the meeting starts with 10 minutes of silence. Everyone reads the document and the AI's critique. No talking. No "how was your weekend" chatter. Just pure data consumption. This ensures everyone actually knows what they're talking about. We've all been in that meeting where someone spends 20 minutes getting up to speed while everyone else rolls their eyes. That dies today. Second, it levels the playing field. The loudest person in the room no longer wins the argument, the person with the best document does. If, after the 10-minute read, everyone agrees on the solution, the meeting is over. You just saved 50 minutes. If there is disagreement, you spend the remaining time arguing about the specific points of friction identified in the doc. This is how you have a 30-minute meeting that produces more value than a 4-hour workshop. The average manager spends 12 hours a week in meetings. That's nearly 1/3 of their professional life. Over a 40-year career, that is 13 years spent sitting in conference rooms or staring at Zoom squares. 13 years. Think about what you could build with 13 extra years of focused execution. The document-first model isn't just a productivity tip, it's a life extension strategy. Now, let's talk about the post-meeting phase, because this is where most this-less meetings die. Have you ever walked out of a meeting and realized 3 days later that nobody actually did what they said they would? That's because the transition from talk to task is where friction is highest. In the BizPilot model, every meeting is recorded by an AI meeting pilot like Fireflies or a custom GPT instance. But we don't just want a transcript. Transcripts are just more noise. We want the AI to generate a decision log. The decision log isn't a summary. It is a 3-column table: the decision made, the person responsible, and the deadline. If the AI cannot identify a decision from the audio, it pings the meeting lead and flags a failed meeting. This creates an accountability loop. You can't hide in a BizPilot meeting. Your words are either turning into data and tasks, or they are being flagged as waste. Furthermore, you can use AI to chain meetings. The AI pilot looks at the decision log from last week and automatically starts this week's document with its status of previous decisions. If the tasks aren't done, the AI highlights them in red. You don't have to be the bad guy who nags the team, the system does it for you. This moves your culture from subjective to objective. You stop arguing about how we feel and start executing on what we decided. This is how you scale a company of 10 to feel like a company of 100. You aren't building a workforce, you're building a neural network of decision makers. Listen to that. Pause for heartbeat sound. That's the pulse of your business. Every minute you spend in a pointless meeting, that pulse gets weaker. You are suffocating your growth with alignment calls. True alignment comes from shared goals and clear documentation, not from hearing each other's voices for the 5th time today. Stop talking. Start writing. Start deciding. This isn't a tool you buy. It's a standard you set. Your meetings are a waste of time without a document-first decision matrix. If you can't write it down, you don't understand it. If you don't understand it, you shouldn't be talking about it. And if you don't have an AI system to capture and track those decisions, you are just running on a treadmill, lots of movement, zero distance covered. The future of work belongs to the asynchronous architect. The people who can build systems that allow work to happen without them being present. By implementing the document-first model and the AI pilot workflow, you are reclaiming your time, your focus, and your sanity. You are moving from a chaos pilot to a BizPilot. If you're ready to stop burning cash on legacy workflows and start building a high-leverage AI-driven business, hit that subscribe button. We don't do hustle culture here, we do system culture. Turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into the automation frameworks making traditional management obsolete. I'm BizPilot, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's get to work.